right. Well, that was a fun opening night of football, getting to watch the Rams get beat up by the Buffalo Bills, who obviously are the favorites to win the Super Bowl. Josh Allen did fantastic, and kudos to them beating up our division rival, the LA Rams. So, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of 12th Man Up. I am so excited for the NFL season, even though Seattle is just going to be awful, probably. I'm excited to get into the season, and I'm going to have kind of game previews every single week in preparation for each game and what I expect from this team. I'm just going to get into a little bit as to what I expect, especially from the defense going against Russell Wilson. Before I get into that, I want to talk about a couple things. One of them is I read an article the other day from the Seattle Times stating that the 12s should boo Russell Wilson when he comes back to Seattle, which in my opinion is absolutely ridiculous. All the Seattle fans should be praising Russell Wilson for how fantastic he was throughout the years for this team. He made me love football as much as I do today. He won us a Super Bowl. He took us to another Super Bowl, and he's been the driving factor for this team for so long. And look, he's no longer here. Things change, things happen, and I expect when this team sacks him, which they better do a couple times, when this team sacks him, the crowd better even go more crazy, because that's a moment to be excited about. But when he comes out in the field, I really hope the 12s are respectful enough to actually applaud him and thank him throughout the years for being a Seattle Seahawk. Now, also, 2 days ago, ESPN's Brady Henderson wrote an article, a long one, but one worth reading, kind of unveiling the relationship between Russell Wilson and his team and the Seattle Seahawks organization, and kind of the disputes they had throughout the years. A couple crazy things that happened in there was one of them was John Snyder visited Patrick Mahomes 2016 before the draft and really liked him. I think they tried to trade Russell Wilson to Cleveland for that first round pick to pick up Patrick Mahomes, which is absolutely crazy. That didn't work out. And then in 2018, John Snyder was checking out Josh Allen's camp, which is also insane to think about. And the thing to notice here is it's not that John Snyder was looking at great quarterbacks that we could have gotten and it didn't work out. It's that Russell Wilson was at his prime. I mean, today you can make an argument that Russell Wilson's in his decline, and it was almost a good thing that we trade him because he's going to be really expensive, and we've already spent so much money, and he does not even have that kind of mobility that he used to have. But that back then, he was in his absolute prime. I mean, he was fighting for MVP spots, and who knows, maybe this season he'll be fighting for MVP spot as well, but I don't think he has it as much as he used to. And back then, they were looking to trade him. So there's a lot of crazy things that happened throughout the past couple of years. And look, it's been a while since we've gotten further than a wild card game, ever since 2014, honestly. So I understand kind of a lot that is talked about in the article, and I suggest you guys all read it if you're interested to see kind of what went on throughout the years. Now, the question of the day is, obviously, do the Seattle Seahawks have what it takes to pull out a win against Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos? The captains for the Seattle Seahawks have been released this week. For offense, we have Tyler Lockett, which is obvious. He should be the captain for sure. We also have Quandre Diggs on defense. Fantastic safety, fantastic player. I'm glad we have him, and I think he'll be a great captain, along with Al Woods on the defensive line, and then Nick Bellore on special teams. And I think that'll work out just fine. I mean, these are all voted by the players, and I would have easily chosen all these players as well to be the captain. So now getting into Monday night's game, Pete Carroll said in his press conference that obviously he's not going to unveil what the plan is, but he knows Russell Wilson back to front, and he's got a strategy to go against him, and the motivation is there. I'm trying not to say that as much, but this team should be more motivated than ever starting out week one against Russell Wilson again. There's a lot to prove, and the doubters are out there. I don't want to say I'm not a doubter. I expect this team to put out a fight for sure, 100%. This game cannot and shall not be a blowout. There are some people who are like, this is going to be an absolute blowout. Russell Wilson is going to destroy this team. No, it cannot. We cannot allow this to be a blowout. We have this is going to be the preview for us for the rest of the season. How we do in this game is going to affect how we do week 9, in my opinion. If we come out trash the first week of football, I'm not talking like silly mistakes here and there, but if just overall there's no strategy, no plan, it just looks like an absolute mess, we're in trouble. That locker room's in trouble. Because remember, we're supposed to be developing players for a quarterback next season. And if we can't develop players on the offensive line, the running backs with Ken Walker, or the defense in our corners and our defensive linemen, then it's going to be extremely difficult to build a better culture. Now, I want to show you all something real quick. I'm going to turn the camera, but this is from kind of the NFL game preview. Now, these are all NFL writers that made the picks, but out of all the 10 writers, only one of them actually thinks Seattle will win, and some of them aren't even close. And like I said, this game cannot be a blowout. It can't be. This will look bad on not only the players, but Pete Carroll especially, and building this culture. And look, quarterbacks like Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud need to see value coming into this Seattle team if we do end up picking them up. As for Geno Smith, I expect him just to don't make stupid mistakes. Don't do turnovers. And that's part of the reason why he's the starting quarterback right now. Richard Sherman actually talked about this in his new podcast on The Volume, is the reason why Geno Smith is starting over Drew Lock is not because, he made better plays. Drew Lock probably made more better plays than Geno Smith, but because he takes care of the ball better. He knows the script better. There's a little bit more faith in Geno Smith not to make the silly mistakes. And that's Pete Carroll hates turning over the ball. And obviously just like every other coach, but Pete Carroll especially. So Geno Smith just needs to be smart for me. He just needs to be smart. We're going to be trying to run the ball a lot, so it shouldn't be overwhelming for him. Our wide receivers, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, I expect a lot out of them whenever they get the ball. I'm expecting to see Will Dissly do really well as well, and our new tight end, Noah Fant, to do well, who we got from the Broncos. On defense especially, and this is where I'm going to really talk a little bit about, which is trying to make that pocket collapse on Russell Wilson. We need to apply as much pressure as we can. I don't want Russell Wilson to get comfortable at all in the pocket. Pressure. Throw Jamal Adams in there a little bit too. I want Russell Wilson to hate being in Seattle, just like how he hates going against Aaron Donald. And I know we probably won't play him for 4 years until we see him again, but we need him to remember what it's like to play in Seattle. So I'm looking forward to this. Even if we lose for the rest of the season, which I really hope we don't do, I want to see some development from our players. I would be just so happy just to see us take care of this opening night, this Monday night game.